Good morning, insiders. Welcome to another Monday download. I hope your week is off to a good start. For our East Coast agents, they're probably well into their day by now. But let's start our download off with a shout out to Karen Shaw, an Insider Network agent who got another short sale approval last week. And the cool thing about this approval and why this is a shout out to her is her approval came simultaneous with the assignment to the negotiator at the bank. So they assigned it to the negotiator, and boom, he looked over the file and sent it all immediately right out to her, which doesn't happen very often. It's totally very cool for Karen. But the point, how that happened, that's really like, oh my God. I mean, first of all, it doesn't happen very often, but how can we get more of those? Well, the BPO was what the hinging point on this was, and Karen did a great job engaging the BPO agent on this. She had all her data together. She met the BPO agent out at the property. She did everything right, and that's why the BPO came in so favorable to her offer, and the negotiators looking at the offer and looking at the BPO saying, well, this is a slam dunk, approved. I mean, why? It's perfect. No reason to counter this buyer, no reason to decline this buyer. We're going to approve it. And ultimately, that's what happens. If your BPO is at or below your offer price, that's going to be approved short sale. If your BPO is above your offer price, that is going to either be a counter to your offer or a decline immediately. And this week I had two different conversations with two different agents. One, Karen, who got an immediate approval because of where the BPO was at, and another agent who didn't have time to meet the BPO agent out at the property, and unfortunately, the BPO came in $20,000 higher than the first offer he got on the property. So in that scenario, you're just like, oh man, now we're gonna have to try and figure out what to do with this BPO. And we negotiate him, and just because you meet somebody out at the property and do a perfect presentation and engagement of the BPO agent doesn't mean you're gonna always get a good BPO, but the likelihood of that BPO being good is considerably higher. So let me give you 4 points that I want to talk about on how you can increase your ability to get a good BPO, because that really is the linchpin of this short sale. And if you're a seller watching this video, quiz your agent to ask them, how do you engage the BPO agent? How do you not guarantee, because nobody can guarantee, what do you do to make sure that BPO comes in at the right price? Because if you're trying to avoid foreclosure, then that's a critical piece. And if your agent doesn't have a good answer to that question, then I would recommend finding a different agent. All right, number 1. You need to listen to the interview we did with Todd Sullivan on the BPO Enhanced. We sent you the CD about a month ago, maybe a little longer than that, but it's also on the Alliance Insider Network. So if you don't have the CD, but you want to log in and listen to it, that's the first thing. It's going to revolutionize the way you look at comparables and putting your BPO packages together and engaging the BPO agent. It's from the perspective of a BPO agent, and it really does just change completely how you look at it. The second thing you need to do is go and listen to the follow-up call that Jessica did, where she applied what Todd talks about in his call and actually applied it to one of her listings and walks you through that application. Highly valuable. It's information that says, okay, now I can take this theory and apply it to my listings so that I know how to do my price drops, how to price it from the beginning, and how to work with my BPO agent and have a highly successful transaction. Number 3, do all of that and then apply it to your BPO package. You should be working on your BPO package right now. When you are, before you get an offer, you should have most of those components put together. Then when you get an offer, you're going to finish that up so that you're not scrambling around when you get a call from that BPO agent. And then number 4, actually meet the BPO agent out at the property, engage them, work with them, help them out so that they know what is going on with this file. Do not leave it up to chance. This is the most critical piece. And I really understand that you're busy, I'm busy, and it can be a sacrifice or highly challenging to take an hour or 2 hours out of your day to drive across town and meet a BPO agent appraiser out at a property and walk through it with them. Not to mention the time gathering the data and all that stuff that's involved. But think of it this way, change your perspective. Is it worth a 2 or 3 hour investment of your time now to have a highly successful short sale that's not going to drag on for 2 years, or would you rather not have that 2 or 3 hours invested now and have that eternal short sale that just keeps going on because we're constantly fighting the value that the bank thinks the property's worth? There's way more marketing dollars for you, way more time involved, and ultimately I believe that it's better to invest a few hours now and get that quicker close and the higher likelihood of close than to fight values for a long period of time. So take those pieces, apply those pieces, and you will see your short sale approval ratios even go up. And because you're not going to have to lose buyers because the value's wrong, and then have to wait for it to expire and have another BPO happen, and maybe that BPO comes in bad, and you really have to engage the BPO agent and work at this. And so learn the techniques, begin to apply the techniques, and the more you do it, the better you're going to get. All right, last thing I want to talk about has nothing to do with BPO, but I had a conversation with a seller a couple weeks ago, and this seller, we had been working this file for a good year, and the property, we had 4 offers, different offers on the property throughout that period of time, and the bank just would not accept the offers. And we did have BPO issues on this property. That was a main piece of it, is that the BPOs kept coming in too high. And I'm not going to get into the detail of why or whatnot in that regard. But the first 2 BPOs, guaranteed, nobody met that BPO agent there. And that is why it didn't go down. But I get a call from the seller, and the seller says, hey, my house sold at foreclosure auction 4 months ago because the bank wouldn't accept the offers, right? So they ended up taking it to auction. And last night I got a phone call from my second mortgage saying, hey, Mr. So-and-so, the balance on your loan is $28,000, and we'd like to know how you plan to pay that. So he's like, I thought this was all over and done. Well, the reality is, just because a property sells at foreclosure does not mean that the banks or a bank within that property doesn't have a right of collection. And that's what we want to talk about, is how sometimes the rights of collection go beyond foreclosure. This is very state specific, so you need to know the rules in your state. Let's use Washington, for example. If you if the bank pursues foreclosure, they can't collect on the note. But in this case, the first mortgage pursued foreclosure, the second mortgage was just along for the ride, and so when it was all said and done, the second mortgage had every right to collect. And they were doing that, and they were collecting. And so the point of this story is to help you understand that it's a very real thing, that if your state law allows lenders to collect after foreclosure, you need to know that so that you can help inform your seller. Because some sellers are going to be like, you know what, I am so done with this. Get me out of this short sale situation. Let the bank have this house. I'm tired of gathering paperwork. I'm tired of having people walk through my house. I'm done. You can let the seller know, hey, you know what, I understand that it's frustrating and it's a lot of work right now, but that might not be the best decision for you, and here's why. After foreclosure, your bank has the right to pursue you for the deficiency, maybe even get a judgment against you, and continue to collect on this for X number of years. So if we do a short sale, we have the ability to try and negotiate a forgiveness of the debt, and at the very least get a decent sized payment to them so that the balance that you're owing them is considerably less. With the HOFA program, that's part of the program, is they have to release all rights of collection. So we're hoping to see more and more of that full forgiveness of debt happening. So this is a tool that you can utilize when you're engaging your sellers, when you're talking with your sellers, to help them understand, hey, this is a very real situation. If you just let this property go back to foreclosure, the bank's going to probably pursue you, and so the short sale is potentially a better situation. And that's also where we pull legal counsel in so that they can sit down with an attorney and say, hey, this is what's better. Is foreclosure better, or is a right of collection better, or what is my state law and how does this work? But the point is, understand how it's going to affect your seller, because if you do, then you can help position them properly so that they make the best decision. All right, that's all I have for today. Don't forget our call coming up on Wednesday. Be on the call. We're going to go over some cool stuff. And if you have questions on anything throughout the week, give me a call, send me an email. We'll get on the phone, we'll email back and forth and get those questions answered for you. Thanks for joining me. Have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye.